I hear you be the block, but I'm the like to keep the streets on. Know this you the type that like to keep them on the leash, though. I'm known to walk alone, but I'm alone for a reason. Sending me a drink ain't appeasing, believe me. Come harder, this won't be easy. Don't doubt yourself, trust me, you need me. This ain't no shoulder with a chip or an ego. What you think they all mad at me for? You need a real woman in your life, taking care home and still fly. And I'ma help you build up your account. Believe me, when you're in the big meetings, tell the meals. Take me just to compliment the deal. And anything you cop, I put the bill. Believe me, let me upgrade you. Autumn up again. You put your next side of purple labels. Upgrade you. Can I upgrade you? Let me upgrade you. Let me upgrade you. Flip the one page. Introduce you to some new things. And upgrade you. Can I upgrade you? Upgrade you. I can do for you what Martin did for the people. Ran by the man, but the women keep the tempo. It's very seldom that you're blessed to find your equals. Can play my part and let you take the lead. Won't believe me, I'll follow. This could be easy. I'll be there whenever you need me. I see your hustle with my hustle. I can keep you focused on your focus. I can feed you. You need a real woman in your life, taking care home and still fly. And I'ma help you build up your account. Believe me, when you're in the big meetings, tell the meals. Take me just to compliment the deal. And anything you cop, I put the bill. Believe me, let me upgrade you. Autumn up again. You put your next side of purple labels. Upgrade you.
Hello. How is everybody doing? Hopefully you guys can hear me. Welcome to this good old what are we talking about? 6888 live. Very happy to see you guys. Get in here. Make sure that you are hitting the like button, not just for me, but for my ladies backstage as well, as we are getting into this movie. Not here to waste anybody's time. I'm gonna go on and bring my girls out all together so we can go ahead and get started. Thank you guys so much for being here. I most definitely appreciate you. Let's bring out EJ and let's bring out Ashley. How are you guys doing?
Good, girl. Ready to dive into this. Ready to dive in and dive out.
Hey,
Dive in, dive out.
You go dive out. You already ready to go, Ashley?
Yeah, I'm ready to dive in. Dive out.
You already ready to go, Ashley? Dive in. What about you, EJ? How you feeling tonight?
I'm just glad to be here. Excited to talk about this. I'm actually excited to talk about it. I love the history of it, and I think it's, um, you know, I think it'll be interesting to, discuss everything. You know,
Oh yeah, y'all so dry. Y'all so dry up in here in the chat. Y'all get in here in this chat and get to talk. We haven't been to y'all with a formal sit down review type situation in a minute, so I'm excited for that, and I'm excited to just be here talking about a movie with an all black cast, female cast, some newcomers, some stuff that we don't get to see all the time every day. But let's go ahead and dive in because y'all know we got some stuff. We got a little bit of things. A little bit of things, and I mean a little bit, a little bit, because I did what I could. I will say that this is a Tyler Perry affair, and every once in a while we get one of those, and this is one of those situations. So what I would like to know from you, EJ, after watching 6888, do you feel like Tyler Perry is improving on production, writing, everything? Because he got his fingers on all of this. And do you feel like he did justice to the story of the 6888, introducing us to these ladies? Because I don't know about y'all, this was the first time I had ever heard of them.
Yeah, this was the first time I had ever heard of them either. And to be completely honest, I really did enjoy the movie. I actually dug so much deeper just because of this. Like, I was like really intrigued to find out like way more information about just this group of ladies, because I'm like, how in the world did like this get past anyone? Like, how did we not know about this? I am a Tyler Perry fan, so I watch a lot of Tyler Perry stuff. So I thought that he did a pretty good job on this one. I think that he told the story after learning how and why he told the story and the direction that he took. I think he did exactly what he set out to do. So I was okay with it.
Ashley, what about you? Is Tyler Perry improving for you? And did he do justice to the 6888?
I want to okay, so here's how I'm going to say this. I appreciate Tyler embarking on this endeavor. I think it's an important story that needed to be told. He had the financial backing to do the project. And it was not horrible. Like, I do think that he told us the succinct story with a beginning, a middle, an end. We got to know what this battalion did. I think he shed light, and I think it was a noble effort. I really do want to give him kudos for taking on this challenge, for diving into something that's completely not his arena. Again, we've never seen Tyler do a war film before. I mean, if I can remember, correctly. So I would want to give him credit for that. However, did he do justice to the story? My major critique with the whole thing is that I really wanted to get to know these ladies, at least some of them, in a real way. I think that just would have made it so much better, and I think it would have resonated more. But I do think he did a good job in telling a complete story. And like I said, this is the best thing I've seen from him. So I'm going to give him, one of those for that.
one of those, actually. This is an improvement, I'm not a fan, so I always believe that the bar it's not in hell, it's hell adjacent. So there isn't a whole, leaps and bounds to go for this to be like, oh, this is so much better than anything. I appreciate the effort. I appreciate him shedding light on these ladies and what they contributed, their stories. I appreciate the window in the introduction. I appreciate, what he tried to do. It's different jumping into not only drama, but a period piece and trying to get things as accurate as possible. And I appreciated the new faces that we got to see here with some of the cast. But as Ashley said, there's always going to be a pros and cons situation. I really wanted to know these ladies. I really wanted to know these ladies and get more into the cast. And I feel like we walked away. I walked away wanting more, which isn't a bad thing. But I wish that we could have gotten everything and more here, because how many times are we going to be able to shed light on a situation like the 6888 or anything? Because with so many war films and ones alike, we aren't present at all if we're there in any capacity. So when you have a story with so many of us all at once, like, let's roll it out, especially when we got 2 hours. But kudos to Tyler. Make sure that you guys are chatting it up in there and leaving those comments and letting us know what you thought about the 6888. And if you enjoyed the film, or, if you opted not to watch it, let us know. But just meeting these ladies, this was the most important thing to me. I had never heard of these ladies at all. At all, not even in a little bit of capacity. And with what we see, the massive way they had a hand in World War II and how important the mail was, these letters. I mean, we can get into the things that they have to go through to be who they are. That's kind of, to be expected with the era of time. But just what they contributed, I thought it was really, really major. And I was like, how did we miss this? And why did we not bother to include them in anything? This is just absolutely beautiful. But Ashley, I'm going to come to you. What do you think about these ladies after seeing these film and their standing as far as World War II was concerned and what they contributed?
I mean, it's incredible. Like, when you go back in Tyra last night in the Discord, if you're not in the Discord, get in the Discord, played like bits and pieces of a documentary that's been out on the women of 6888. And it was so enlightening to imagine how hard it was for men back in those days. Because if you think about Red Tails or Tuskegee Airmen, we kind of got a glimpse into what the Black male soldier journey was back then. But now seeing women who had another whole strike against them still managed to be lieutenants and captains and officers, it was kind of incredible. I was really, really hoping that Kerry Washington's character, the captain, as she was promoted to, I really would have been inspired to see her journey and what that was like for her. But I mean, I loved how, at least in this, we did get a picture of why some of the women were there. Some of the ladies were there to find a husband, right? They had been beat up too many times. Some were going because they wanted to pursue their master's degree. And just like today, joining the military was a way to have your education subsidized. Or you had those who just really wanted to be a soldier. And our lead character, our protagonist, went there all about a boy. But I loved how there was a variation and we got to see the different motivations that people have. But no, I think their story is incredible. I hope we get an even more in-depth film at some point, really diving into these individual ladies and their lives. I'm here for a historical piece, and I would have loved that. But no, kudos to these women, the bravery, nothing in my mind or heart, even today, would have me join the military. So thinking 60, 70, 80 years ago, if that would have been a thing, absolutely not for me. So kudos to them.
Yeah, and it's, the more things change, the more they stay the same. A lot of the times, even now, when it's rare that I hear anybody say that they're joining the army or any reserve for diplomatic reasons. Like, no, I'm trying to get funding for my education. I'm trying to, use this as a vehicle to do something else. So it's, it's inspirational, child. EJ, what about you? What do you think about these ladies in real time and what they did?
I thought this was an amazing story. Like I said, this was a story that I had never heard of. I feel like it's a story that we should have heard of. And to dive even deeper into it, as I kind of went on in a rabbit hole with it, because I just wanted to learn so much more, because like, how did we miss this big piece of history? Because to me, this is a huge piece of history that should have been taught. It should have been something that we heard about. But to know that these ladies didn't get their flowers until almost 50 decades later, I mean, like, it's a long time later that they finally get their flowers, and we're just now hearing about them and hearing about this story. It sounds on the surface level, oh, all they did was sort some mail, but we're talking about 17 million pieces of mail, and we're talking about something that people tried to tackle, but they were unable to tackle. And this is white men, white women, because they sent the white women in there first, right? And they sent the white men in there first, but nobody could get it done. This lady, Charity Adams, the person who was over all of this, she was she majored in Latin, she majored in mathematics, she majored in physics, and that's why she was able to come up with this system along with the help of others as well. But when you dive deeper into the story, you just learn so much more about just these ladies. And I just think that, it's a disservice for us not to hear about them, but even more to hear that they didn't really think that they did that much. Like, they just did their job. But it was so much more than that, in my opinion.
I will say, I think the film would have really benefited from it. I don't know if it wasn't, because it is Tyler Perry and he does champion himself in doing everything by himself. But I would love to know if anybody who was a part of this or had any strong attachment to it was involved with the film, to maybe give their input and give, more, accuracy or even more information than we got here. I think that would have been a nice touch. And I don't know, after watching it, if that's what we had, because a lot of this does feel like a little bit of because I did finish the special on PBS. I finished it. It seems like there's a lot of that. And it was also a lot of more so tropey like things from the war movies that we've seen over time that we still, put into this film. But, just minor things. But I think this is the type of film that really needs a touch of like realistic perspective and somebody to really be on, Tyler's shoulder. But, Tyler don't like nobody rubbing his shoulders.
I can tell you this, Tyra. I can give you this one little thing. He actually did have a historian that actually was the historian on the film. And at the very end of the movie, you'll see that the real Lena King, the movie is actually inspired by her and it's written from her perspective. And that's the reason why we don't get that's the reason why we get so much of her story, because it was supposed to be for her, because whenever he met her, apparently he got so just caught up in her story that he wanted to tell her story.
But speaking of stories, and when we do get to
Okay,
see
with your
us,
face, Ash.
we do.
Oh, because I'm just trying to understand if it was her story. I still would have wanted to know more. I still didn't know that lady. At the end of the day, she went
give her
there
no
for a
ammo,
man who was
EJ, don't
gone.
give her no ammo. We were
I
doing
know.
so well.
I know. My bad. My bad. My bad.
Here's the
We
thing.
even got to that lady slide. Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I wanted to know her more though. I did.
Yeah.
I did.
We can't. Those are just things with Tyler Perry that we cannot ask for. Sadly, we can't ask for depth. We can't ask for any transparency. We can ask for the bare minimum, and this was more than the bare minimum from him. So I'm not even gonna play. He ain't gonna play on my top ever again. With the expectations of what he could bring to a story, I feel like he brought what he could in his own way, and that's all it's ever going to be. This was never going to be a glory devotion situation. It just wasn't going to be that. But since we're here, Ashley, I'm going to come to you first. Hopefully you've seen both of these. Which one of these made you cry the most?
Child Glory in his single solitary tear. But for for what it's worth, I didn't see Devotion because I see Jonathan Majors over there. I ain't never watched that movie. I ain't watching Devotion. But Glory for sure. I didn't seen Glory a couple times.
What? I need you to watch Devotion. Devotion really came to mind watching this because it is one of our more so recent films, and it is based around a real life person. And I thought Jonathan Majors did an incredible job in just telling his story overall in the time span that we had. It was kind of matchy with the time that we had with the ladies and the 6888, and I thought they did an amazing job. So I really need you to watch Devotion because Jonathan, boy, it was a thug tear. It was it stopped here, but there was some thug tears happening. But you're gonna go with Glory. You have to because you never see the other one. EJ, what about you? Have you seen Devotion and Glory?
I've never seen Devotion, just because I just never seen it. And Glory, I can't remember it. Like I've seen it, but I just don't remember it. So I really can't do like a whole versus thing. But I did see Glory. I didn't cry though.
Well, that's the idea of these. Also,
I know, right?
Here, right. You know what, EJ? I'm done with you. That's also the idea throughout the situation with this film. I will be putting a little verses here just to be a little bit informative because, as I said, we don't have a lot of films that depict us in any light in any war period. So let's give a little respect to the ones that do, which is why I'm giving Tyler Perry all kinds of grace because 6888. Y'all drop down in those comments and let me know which one of these made y'all drop a tear because I dropped a tear for Devotion and Glory way back when. I ain't seen Glory in a minute. I remember dropping a tear. I definitely dropped one for Devotion because baby Jonathan Majors was delivering in the only way that he can. But yeah, I'm gonna put it on because I want to see both of y'all just ball out because y'all be crying on everything else, but then when it's time to cry, y'all be wanting to hold the tears. Journey to Abram. Getting into what Ashley was about to allude to, we are here with Miss Lena here. Miss Lena is our window to the 6888 and Abram. And I didn't mind this. I didn't mind this. I would just have preferred that Miss Lena wasn't our vocal point. And I think that's when the idea comes into play to having more hands on your script and on your side to influence where you're taking your film. Because if I had anything to do with this film, baby, Kerry Washington would have been the core. She would have been the center. She would have been just the focus point in general because I felt like her story was so impactful. And I would have loved to know more about the 6888 and about her and her journey to get to where she was. Because, baby, she was in that position. You were going to salute me. You're going to respect me. I loved it. You could just only imagine like getting back into Devotion, what her journey. It's always a journey for the person who's the first. Like, they get the brunt of the worst of it. But we don't more so get that. We get some of that, but we spend a lot of time with Miss Lena here. And I did not expect meeting her that we would tie her story so heavily into Abram, but I think we were trying to get back into those old war scenarios and unrequited love and I'll wait for you. But I didn't think that it would have such a chokehold on the story and we would stay with it. And I didn't really know how to feel trying to get into her journey in opposition to these men, because we not only have Abram who passes and we have this other For what? For why? This other man trying to pursue her as well because he's attracted and I seen you seen me and yeah, yeah, I didn't know what y'all wanted me to do with that. And it lent to me kind of having a little bit of resentment for Lena's story when I shouldn't have, because I had no reason to be upset with her. She had her own reasons for coming here, and maybe she loved her some Abram at 17 years old and on, she had a reason to be that. And this is very much so a product of its time. I'm going to the army, I'm trying to find a husband, but I didn't know that it would be just her story overall. I thought at some point her perspective and her alone would take priority over her seeking Abram, but it was just all Abram. EJ, how'd you feel about Lena?
I enjoyed the character. I enjoyed kind of getting to know her. From what we got from the film, trying to stick to the film side of it, just because I've learned so much more at this point. But I enjoyed that particular part of it. I did think it was a little weird at first, the way we kind of, we decided to go to the army all of a sudden because, and I don't want to say it was solely because of that, but in the movie makes it appear that it was solely because of that. So let's just say it like that. So I did think that was a little bit interesting, but it led me to think that maybe he wasn't quite unalived. And I thought maybe that's where we were going with it. But then to find out that he really was unalived, but it just, to me, it was more like a story of heartbreak, your first love, and then your first love being taken away so tragically and needing to find that closure. And that's how I looked at her story, was that she was looking to find that closure, and she just took a very, interesting step in order to do so. But I do think when it all came down to it, that she found the closure that she was looking for.
Oh yeah, I definitely thought it was going to be that, and I could see that, but I thought it was going to be, I came to be a part of the army for one thing, and now I'm really getting into my purpose here. It's, bigger than Abram. I belong here, or just her finding self. And I don't know if we fully got there in the way that I thought we would. Let me get these super chats, and Ashley, I'm gonna come on down there to you. A night of horror, Nikki in the house said, I'm tipsy, but stopping in to show love real quick. It don't matter when or how you decide to stop and show us some love, Nikki. We appreciate it either way. Thank you so much. Tipsy or not, I really hope y'all consider watching Devotion, for anybody in the chat who hasn't, because Devotion along with Glory is a really good film. What's up? Is this for you, EJ?
Mm-hmm.
Read it, girl.
Man of Honor with Cuba Gooding Jr. and Robert De Niro is another good one. Shout out to Torian. Hey, Torian.
Definitely, Torian. It's definitely in the midst of the slides here. Thank you so much, Torian. Thank you. I think we got one more down here, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, I did. I saw Nikki again. And Nikki said, 199, Tropic Thunder is the best. Nikki, please. And I love Tropic Thunder because I'm the dude playing the dude disguised as another dude. This is not that film. Thank you so much, Nikki. Ashley, what about you? How did you feel about Miss Lena in her journey to Abram?
I didn't, and I wanted to. I didn't, and I wanted to. I didn't, and I wanted to, in the words of Dr. Umar. No, I felt like Abram was a noble character. Okay, so when you're doing a historical piece that's nonfiction, I think it's really important to tap into the reality of things. And I was a little bit perturbed that we made this entire journey very male-centered. I feel like if you're going to go into this fantastical love story, because let's be very clear, right? To me, it wasn't based in reality. How he behaved, picking her up from school, she was serving at the party, and then I'm making out with you in the back. I didn't believe a lot of that. And it could just, I think if we're going to tell a story about Black women being pioneers and moving in that way, I would have much rather the focus be completely centered around that, rather than this kind of idealistic male white. I don't want to call him a white savior because he ain't saved nothing, but he kind of did, because throughout it, we do get him popping up. Oh, you can do this. Oh, you can do this. You can do this. I mean, when I get, like I said, when I get a historical piece, I really want it to be rooted in reality. And I want like the grittiness of it all. I want to know what her pain was really like. You know what I'm saying? We saw her bust out crying moment when they're sorting mail in one of those. And I think that was the first real glimpse of, oh, okay, she really feels something deeply. I think we could have had him there. I just would have wanted it to be a little bit, I would have wanted it to be more based in reality. I'm going to just set it right there. I could have done this without him, honestly.
I feel like this is where Tyler's hand was heavy the most. I don't know. This could be well off a part of her story, of Miss Lena's story, or this could have been a damn cliff note for all we know. For some reason, I feel like it was a cliff note, and Tyler was like, you know what? All the movies, wait, and this just felt very, very fantastical fantasy, and it got real Disney in the beginning, and that's why I was like, okay, baby, he gonna die because this is not how that goes. But I thought it was gonna stop there. If we want to be fantastical for 5 minutes, sure. But when he got to popping up and it was the ghost of Christmas Past, and I was like, what? Oh, okay. Like I didn't mind it so much if we could have really believed it. I'm really sick of films trying to shoehorn in this love interest, this loss, like within the first 5 minutes of a film, and then we're supposed to give a damn for the whole 2-hour runtime. No, we have to build really good rapport relationships, make us care deeply about Abram. You can't make him, little Richie, skipper, and we're just supposed to go with the flow because look at that good white. It's a good white man. Look at that good Jewish white man. He don't even care that she black. Oh Lord, the injustice. He cares about racism. You're not gonna just mistreat her because she's black. Not only that, but girl, I've loved you all my life. I don't see color. I'm here for it. I love it. Yes, boo. We love that. We love that. We love equal opportunity. But yeah, I still have to care about him beyond those things. I still have to know him, know their relationships, to know why she would drop it and go, I'm going to the army. I'm trying to find. I said I would find you. I would, all the way to her, crying at the gravesite. We need some more, baby. It just be the little things. That's all I'm saying. Thank you so much, Trent King, for the $20. It said, seasons. Greetings. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Trent. Thank you.
Tyra, can I answer Tremaine's question?
Yeah, go ahead. Let me see where
Tremaine said, was Abram fictional person or a real person, though?
Mm-hmm.
Abram was a real person. He was her really, really close friend, is how I'm going to say it. But he was a real person, and he did inspire her to go to the army, but he wasn't the sole reason. She had other reasons behind it, but this film just didn't quite lean into what it really was.
And we knew that. I knew that it couldn't have been for those times. And what I mean, us, going to the army now, problematic or not, is completely different and more a little indentations than going to the army then. There were a whole bunch of problems that you could see in the film that you would have to deal with as a woman, as a black woman, but if it's just like, I'm going to do this for a man, I was like, all right, if that's what you want us to believe. Thank you so much, Shannon D, for the $1.99. We Were Soldiers had me balling. Man, I ain't seen it. I ain't cry, Shannon. I didn't cry, but I could definitely see absolutely why it would. Thank you guys so much. Let's see. We gonna move on, child. Gonna move on. Let me put this here. Now here, let me see who we have next here. It might be a slide. It might be somebody else. This thing is acting a little wonky. Here we go. Now, we did not just meet Lena in the Women's Army Corps, because that's how Kerry said, welcome to the Women's Army Corps. That's what she said. She did. They had Kerry. Kerry was yelling, the Women's Army Corps. We meet Dolores, Elaine, and Johnny May. We meet several women over the time. And this is where I feel like the ball was dropped the most with the film, or where there was a missed opportunity with us spending so much time with just Lena and more so the aspects of Abram. We had some really like fresh faces here. I don't believe I've seen these women in a large capacity anywhere, and this may have been my first introduction to them. I do know our lead Lena here because I have tried to watch Sisters, so I know this is Karen. Karen's been pregnant forever. Is she still pregnant? Did she drop the baby? Y'all let me know in the bottom. But I really liked when we started with meeting these women and they introduced and we're on the train and I was like, oh, we about to go on a journey and we're going to get into every single one of these women, especially Johnny May, because Johnny May said, I ain't come here to play with y'all, and I ain't the one of the two. Elaine being the more so prim proper preacher's daughter, and Dolores, I ain't gonna say what Johnny May called her, but that, along with being, highly educated. And no, I'm not that educated. I don't know who Sumna, who McLeod, Mahood, nothing. I'm from the country. I thought this was gonna be really, really fun, and we were gonna build a lot of rapport. And it just kind of didn't. It was just kind of sparse as far as their connection. You could see remnants of what it could have been, a really deep bond of friendship and them growing over time, going through this journey together. But it just didn't, in the end, come all together for me. But I really did like the aspect of what could have been with these ladies. Ashley?
Yeah. I wanted to know them. And I think there's a formula, right? For war movies. Any of them, you threw a Band of Brothers, any war movie or show, right? They always do Masters of the Air. That's a recent one that was on Apple TV. It's on the other side of the pond. Okay. But what they do 9 times out of 10 is they're going to get you to love these friends, this friend group of whoever's in this battalion, in this group, whatever. You're going to get to know them individually. You're going to know where they came from. You're going to know who they people are. You're going to know if they have a love interest back home that's writing them letters or doing something. You're going to get something that makes you care when their head gets blown off. You know what I'm saying? And in this, we really didn't. And even though we approached tragedy in this, I wanted to feel more than I felt. And I couldn't feel more because I didn't know them. I'm telling you, when they're on the bus going there, I just knew. I said, oh, Tyler doing it. I said, oh, we finna get to know all of these ladies. We're going to know where they came from. We're going to know their story. We're going to know even how they interact with each other. It's going to give us a League of Their Own. Y'all remember a League of Their Own? Like, we got to know these women. They hated each other. They came together. They loved each other when times was down. There's no crying in baseball. I just knew that's what we were going to get. And we didn't. And I'm sad about it. I wanted to know these women and their journeys. I wanted a breakdown at the end of the movie like we get in the war movies. So-and-so went to be so-and-so. So-and-so went on to be so-and-so. So-and-so went on to be so-and-so. That's what I wanted. Again, I loved seeing the rainbow of colors there. I do think they got a little bit tropey. You know what I mean? As far as some of the characters, I think some of them became a little bit caricaturish. But
Ooh, Johnny Ray.
you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. But I just, like I said, I just wanted to know them more. I don't think it was bad. I don't think the presentation of any of them was bad per se. I just wanted to get to know them in more of a real way. And we didn't get afforded that opportunity.
I was here. If you're going to give me caricature, like deliver it in tenfold. I was here for it. If y'all wanted Miss Johnny May to give me baby Danielle Brooks and Octavia Spencer, minute don't burn no chicken, let's go. Like, deliver it. I wanted them to go even harder. So every single young lady here is extremely memorable, so we can see and know them in future prospects. Like, sadly, we don't get a whole lot of opportunities in film, so it's really good to shine a light, even if it's like miniature light, in every single way that we could. And I don't feel like these ladies got to flourish as much as they should have. Like I said, when we left and I was trying to gather things, I couldn't remember anybody's name except for Johnny May's and Lena, because she was our lead, and I had a hard time trying to place faces. And when the performances are there, that's not something that you should have to do. EJ, what did you think about our ladies, and did you get to know them as much as you wanted to throughout the film?
I liked all the ladies. I do think that we could have leaned into them a little bit more. But, once again, my own research led me to know that a lot of these people were fictional and that there's only a few of them that are actually real. So, some of their stories don't actually exist, but were more so a representation of the women that were there, like the type of women that were there in the 888, not necessarily the actual women that were in the 888, if that makes sense. So I did get that much from it, but I felt like I was connected to more to the central character than anyone else. I felt like I knew them enough to care about them. Maybe not those other two that kind of, the situation that happened with the truck thing. Maybe not those two, even though they were in a lot of the promo. They weren't actually in the in the movie a lot. I just saw them in the promo, but I feel like maybe we didn't get to know them enough. But the others, I felt like I got to know them enough to care about them, but we could have went deeper. But I did enjoy it all, and I do know some of them. The one that plays Dolores, I love Charmed, and when they did the reboot of it, I didn't want to look at it, but I looked at it anyway, and she played in Charmed.
I ain't watching it.
I didn't want to look at it.
Dorothy? Where's I was all Charm purist. I didn't even watch it. Was it good?
I wish I still didn't watch it, but I did out of curiosity.
But no, it's that's the thing when you get into the writing, and Tyler did say that he wrote this in 2 weeks, and it does show. It does show. And like you said, I even don't mind the fact that a lot of these, like they were fictional. That gives you time to really go out and embellish and really grow these characters and create anything that you want to. But with Johnny May and that fist, y'all heard me yelling, "No, Miss Sophia, no!" It was giving Color Purple. I thought she was going to say, "I said hell no." I thought at some point in the story, Johnny May was going to say, "I said hell no," because we know these people, we know these characters. So when you have autonomy to write and have a clean slate, because these women, are fictional, this is the time to really deliver, and more so not focus on the road to Abram. But okay. Okay. No, Miss Sophia, no. I thought we was out this, and I look at here. If she said I say hell no, Tyler, I wanna see the credentials. I want to see. But speaking of, more movies that are representing us, because we don't have many, I have Red Tails here versus the Tuskegee Airmen. EJ, I'm going to come to you first. Have you seen both of these films? And if you had to pick one, which one would you pick?
Oh, that's hard. I'd probably go with Red Tails, though. I really enjoyed Red Tails. Tuskegee Airmen was great, but I just really liked Red Tails. It was another one of those stories that was just like, that I got really in depth with and just really wanted to learn more about. So I'll go with Red Tails. I like the way that one was told.
Child, when I tell you, all respect, first of all, they gonna call Cuba Gooding Jr. for the war, okay? If it's a man of honor, some Red Tails, some Tuskegee, they're gonna call Cuba Gooding Jr. But I remember when Red Tails came out, and I was like, this is Tuskegee Airmen. I was just like, this is Tuskegee Airmen. I couldn't dive into Red Tails the way I wanted to, because it just felt like an up-to-date version of Tuskegee Airmen, something that I've seen over and over. And baby Lawrence is over there. Alan Payne is over there. Courtney B. Vance is over there. I gotta go over there with the Tuskegee Airmen. Ashley, if you had to pick one, which one are you picking?
Listen, Malcolm Jamal Warner is over there. We're gonna go Tuskegee Airmen every single time, baby. Because the way when I first saw that movie, I cried for a day. I cried for a day or two. The way that they told the story was so gripping. The way you loved each of these characters individually. You saw the struggle. You saw the pain of it. You saw that they were all these like professional men who were really being treated like children. It was like worse than children, honestly. Tuskegee Airmen just has a special place in my heart. I believe that it was just so well done. Like the way that the way they emoted, like you feel it to this day. Red Tails, again, I felt like it was, I don't want to say a pale comparison, but to me, it doesn't hold a candle to the original. It's going to be Tuskegee Airmen every day, all day. Actually, I'm going to watch it tomorrow because it was that good.
I haven't seen it in a very long time, and I would like to watch it. I used to have this little VHS tape, right? It used to have Tuskegee Airmen on it, Mama's Forest Family, and Miss Evans Boys. It was on there. All the history was on the tape. All the history was on the tape, and I have not seen it, but I remember it being extremely compelling, and I can't tell you how much I will remember about Red Tails, because I just remember at the time thinking, well, I sure need to watch Tuskegee Airmen. But once again, you guys, be sure to check out these movies if you have never seen them. They are definitely worth your time. But let's move on Shout out to the fine man over there in the Tuskegee. Now, we did have a stat cast here. When we did get any interlude into the 6 AAA before the film dropped and you saw the names attached, she was like, Oprah Winfrey. Oprah's going to be in the film along with Susan Sarandon, and I can never remember this gentleman's name, but that's little baby from, that Law and Order. He been outside a long time.
Waterston. What is his name? Something like that.
But EJ, I'm going to come to you. How did you feel about the way that Tyler utilized the cast? Because we do have, once you go and watch, because I did finish the PBS situation, and you see how heavy a hand that these characters played in where the 6 888 winded up, and even just how heavy-handed, because you wouldn't know. You would think that they were just acting alone, but they really had a backing of someone who did support them, like Susan Sarandon's character or Oprah's character. Do you feel like that they were used to the best of their capacity as far as the film?
I feel like I understood what was happening and what was going on as somebody who didn't know the story. I feel like I got what happened. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I understood that we have this. Oh, somebody in the chat asked who she was, and she was a civil rights, women's rights activist. But I feel like I understood that this was a push from somewhere else, and that they just didn't throw them in there, that this literally came from someone who really understood and respected and knew that Charity could get this job done. And that just goes to show more about her, about Adams, about the fact that she had made a name for herself, to the point where you have this civil rights activist that knows that, hey, you need to send this particular group in because they're going to be the ones to get the job. So I felt like, for me, I just understood what was happening. Could we have gotten more? Yeah, I mean, because there was a lot of involvement from Eleanor and, of course, Mary McLeod, but I just felt like I understood it.
She's like, who, Mary McLeod? What? Who? I don't know who that is. I'm from the country. I will say, when you have Oprah and a Susan Sarandon, baby, you use them. That's all I'm gonna say. You use them. Okay, Ashley, what about you? How'd you feel about the cast here?
I thought it was fine. I thought, actually, because you always, like, if you know, like, about history and stuff, you always kind of hear that Eleanor ran her husband. You know what I'm saying? Yes. And so I liked that there was kind of a nod to that. I thought that was a little clever on Tyler's part in terms of the direction. But no, I wanted to see more of them, because Eleanor was this person who always took on a cause, right? I think, didn't HBCU start around her? She funded so many of them, got them started. Mm-hmm. I would have really liked them to delve just a little bit deeper into who she was, as well as Mary McLeod Bethune, and what her journey was like in becoming this respected activist that, the president's going to take ear when she makes a suggestion. I liked it that they were presented here. I just would have wanted a little bit more. I don't think it takes much to go a little bit deeper. I don't think it would have taken much for us to see Mary McLeod Bethune's campaign, really, to get the Black women even to be able to be in the Army Corps and to get assignments. I would have liked that a little bit. And I think it could have even been a montage. I don't think it had to be like a whole entire 5-minute scene. I think if we would have gotten glimpses of that for her. But yeah, I would have liked to see her a little bit more. But I mean, it was fine for what he did. It was fine. I'm not like you said. Would you tell me to keep my expectations low?
You can't say Women's Army Corps like that. You got to say it right.
Women's Army Corps.
Yeah,
is that right? Okay. Women's Army Corps. Army Corps.
Thank you. Find your ass. Find your $5. Think on that Women's Army Corps. Carrie was supposed to think on that Women's Army Corps. But yes, I appreciated the attempt. I'll say that. But let's get to who we was here for. We were here for Major Charity Adams. That's Charity Adams. That's who we were here for. We were here for Kerry Washington. When you put Miss Kerry in your film, she's gonna deliver, and she delivered what she could here. I think if this was given to anybody else, you could tell that Kerry was stretching what she had, because it wasn't much. we do spend a bulk of the film with her being just what she is. It was giving drill sergeant, yelling, and I expect the best, and you are the best. And I could see Kerry stretching to give a lot of depth where Kerry's an actress, okay? This is an actor first, and it shined through. But you have to, really have some time in, like Kerry, to really deliver in that way. And I feel like she did the best she could with what she had, and it was a lot. Kerry was the only character I walked away and said, I want to know more about her. I want to know more about her. I would have preferred if the story was focused around her. I want to get into her journey to becoming who she was. And then, of course, we could have that be the core in the center of the 6888 story, because this is amazing. She is amazing. And she trained these women to be amazing, immaculate. That's where I was. EJ, how did you feel about Charity Adams?
I liked Major Charity Adams. I thought Kerry Washington, first and foremost, she did an amazing job at this. I think I know some people were like caught up in her accent, but I think she did a really good job with the accent. We know Kerry, we've seen her in a gazillion things, and I think she always delivers. And I thought she delivered in this as well. Even when she talks about how she got ready for this and how she actually looked at a lot of she was actually able to find video and stuff like that. So she was able to channel from a lot of that. So when I learned that, I was like, oh, okay, so she was channeling this directly from what she saw. So it must be, whatever she saw she really emulated that. So I enjoyed her. I did also leave wanting to know more about her. I ended up downloading her autobiography because she does have one if you're interested in it. And I'll be finishing that up, probably within the next week or so. But I did want to know more about her. I wanted to know more about her journey and her story and where she came from and how she got to where she was. Just because of the way that they represented it here. So I was really, I really was excited about kind of seeing where we were going to go with the character. And I would have loved to see a little bit more about this character here. But I do think that she probably deserves her own situation and not necessarily a mix of this, because she was so much more than just this. I just feel like she deserves her own situation all by itself.
Absolutely. I was here for it. Once we got into her portion of the story, this is when the movie really started to remind me of a soldier story. Not in the sense of, the murder, death, kill stuff that's happening over there, but more so preparing these troops and these soldiers with the aspect of hopefully going to war, being, looked at as a worthy adversary to go over to Europe, and you just continue to being overlooked because these people are more qualified. And, you're just kind of biding time, waiting and feeling less than and dealing with, adversity and everything else and racism and sexism and all this stuff. And I thought like it was just so different to see it from a woman's perspective, because it was one thing for the men. It's all atrocious all around. But with her, it was like, oh my God, I wonder what all she's had to endure. And I would really like to see that put on a big platform like the 6888. Ashley, what did you think about her?
I was really, really nervous going into it. When we had seen those trailers, I was like, child, in the Women's Army Corps. I just knew her voice was going to grate and aggravate me, but I was pleasantly surprised because I didn't get any of that. I was really more captivated with how she was navigating this space, right? With all of the pushback, with all of the sabotage. I think that her storyline was the most compelling of the film. And I honestly felt like she was channeling Papa Pope. She was like, you have to be twice as good. Twice as good.
Oh, Ashley!
Listen, if you're a scandaler, okay, if you were on the scandal, right, that reminded you of the conversation that Papa Pope had with Olivia. Okay. And I said, oh, she pulling from that. I said, girl, you better teach the people. But again, still, I wanted more. I wanted more, like we said before, of her journey, and then also of the ladies' training, right? We got one little thing with the gas mask and all of that. But we really didn't get like, okay, what did they go through to get here? Even to get the assignment and go where they were going, I would have wanted to see that more. But no, I enjoyed the character. I too agree. I'd be down to watch a film strictly about Major Charity Adams, even to just arrive at that rank back in those days as a Black woman is huge. And I would love for that story to be told. Yeah. But no, Kerry, she did fine. She absolutely did. And the accent didn't even bother me. I was here for it, and I would love more.
The Women's Army Corps. I was here for it too. They gave us a little bit. We saw them, on the ship rocking back and forth and being a little topsy turvy. Ashley, if you had to choose one, are you going with the Man of Honor or Antoine Fisher?
Okay, so I have seen both. Dane, don't start with me tonight, buddy. Don't start, buddy. Let's not do it. But if I had to choose between Men of Honor and Antoine Fisher, I'm going Antoine Fisher because even though I will never watch it again because it was traumatizing for me, right? It was emotional. It was traumatizing as hell. I tend to veer on the side of what elicits raw emotion from me, and that did it. I want to say I've probably seen bits and pieces of Men of Honor years ago, but I don't remember anything about it. So for that reason and that reason alone, I'm going over there with Derek. Derek. And Antoine.
We're not basing this off of attraction, Ashley. You can't be saying you want
emotion, and it was traumatic, and I felt something. I know I cried. And Derek is over there too.
You going over there with Derek and Denzel, huh? You going over there with the D's? It's cool. It's cool. EJ, are you going over there with the D's, over there with Antoine Fisher, or are you watching Man of Honor?
I just want to make sure that I remember Men of Honor. Is this the one where he had to go under the water for all those minutes?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that was a good one. I like that one. But I'm a roll with Ashley on this one, and it has more so to do with the fact that I probably did cry a ton in this one. I did love the performance. This is the first time I really did actually I was like, oh, I like Derek. You know what I'm saying? Like I really, really was like, I don't remember if this is the very first thing I ever seen him in. I don't know if he played in anything before this, but this is what I first remember him playing in, if that makes sense. Yeah. And I was like, oh, I like this guy. And so if I had to choose between the two, I would definitely go over to the Antoine Fisher.
I don't know, because Antoine had me in when you learn such fancy words like difficult, you talking like, oh, she was terrible. But Antoine Fisher is so traumatic. Jesus, oh Lord, it pisses me off every time. But I also really like Robert De Niro and Cuba Gooding Jr. in Man of Honor, and him, when the leg got cut off, child, that was just a terrible thing. And these are what I love is when we go back to us, we always dip back into true story. I don't think we have anything that's fictional. now that we got all these films here, everything seems to be kind of based around true story. Whether that we had Glory, we had Devotion, these two, Tuskegee.
A lot of the war films are historical. A lot of them are, even G.I. Jane, about the first woman Navy SEAL, right? Like that was I mean,
I don't know, because that I can't say the N word. You know what I want to say. That Miss Taylor saying, because that's my word. I just got to go over there because that's my word. I'm going over there because she has said it, y'all. I can't. So I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna mute my mic and then I'm gonna say it on my own. Okay, I had to get it out, but we ain't supposed to say that on the YouTube.
Okay.
Y'all know what word I'm talking about. Let's move on. Oh man. But in all, we do get a lot of perseverance with much sabotage and adversity, as we stated, and it kind of comes to a head with everything in the sabotagery of it all, and over my dead body situation towards the end, because it's just like, no, I felt like the scene was pretty compelling, and I did enjoy just the character, like Carrie. I just want to know what she had been through, child, because she had to have been through some stuff to take all those things on the chin. Because as I said, Miss Sophia was about to ball up that fist. Because what you ain't gonna do is talk to me out of the side of your neck. But it's just like, we will experience something tenfold where they might be reprehended or slap on the wrist or something. It's over for us with just one minor mistake. So I need you to stay calm and keep you cool. I was here for that. But actually, how did you feel about just the way that all of our characters here were handling everything that was thrown at them, because that was to be expected. I wasn't really, sadly comes with the time. That's to be expected. What I really enjoyed about these moments was when you have him, so ready, like others coming to spy and berate, and it's just like, no, we tied the fabric to the perfume, to the fabric of the fabric on the back of the backhand of the letters, on top of the letters and next to the name with the nickname, to find who we're supposed to send these letters to, because you got me effed up. I was here for those moments. Ashley?
Absolutely. I think one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie is that confrontation towards the end where he comes and, I'm going to stop getting y'all all out of here. And she says that over her dead body. I loved that moment. That was like, girl, you better stand up and clap. You know what I'm saying? Slow clap at that. I love that, because what bravery it would have taken to do that at that time, like literally being court-martialed, potentially losing everything that you've worked for as far as your rank, status, getting a dishonorable discharge potentially. That was a huge risk, but her standing on big business in front of these ladies, I loved it. And I even loved afterwards her kind of dealing with the emotion of taking that action. Like, I've told these ladies to, have decorum and never come outside of yourself. And look at me, I just did. I loved that we got to see that kind of internal dialogue that she had with herself. It makes, again, for an interesting character, which is why we're wanting so much more of her. But yeah, I mean, we're going to deliver every single time. In every circumstance, in every situation, the Black woman is going to rise, period. And I think this is no different. It's indicative of who we are within the diaspora, who we are in this world, and how we take up space. And I actually love these moments. No notes.
I was here for it because I just wanted to know if we would just go out of the movie just taking it on the chin. I thought it would be just like it's a product of its time, but of course with these moments there has to be the uproar to cause an effect and change. And I love the part of teaching, because we do have to operate differently in these spaces because we don't have that type of privilege. We are up against all odds, but just kind of systematically conditioning the ladies to just take it, keep your head down, keep your mouth closed, don't say anything. So I was happy that she did say this, so the women do know that I'm taking a lot, but I'm not going to take it forever, and it is eventually okay for us to progress as women and move ahead. No, you're not going to talk to me like that, and no, you are over my goddamn dead body. I was like, oh, I thought we was gonna go out, working on the chain gang. EJ.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite parts of the movie as well. I love that for all the things that she taught them, like, because that was really big for her. We saw a moment earlier in the movie where she gets onto Johnny May because Johnny May lost her cool, and she lets her know, like, no, like that's not what we do. And to see her actually have that same type of response and come out of character, and really just give it to this guy, because this guy she basically been trying to do this, I mean, since the beginning. He didn't believe in it. When he saw that it was actually happening, when he saw that they were actually making some momentum, he had to find a way to be exactly who he was, coming there and being upset about the fact that it was that half of them weren't there because they were sleeping, because they had come up with this system. First of all, everything that they did, this system was genius. The fact that they were able to smell these perfumes and figure out what went with what, the fact that they were able to figure out the nickname things, the fact that you had the audacity to be mad because they opened up some mail so that they could figure out who it was supposed to go to.
White male. It was white male.
Okay, white, yeah, exactly. That, all of that was, I mean, all of those things, and I can't imagine having to deal with all of this. But the fact that that you've done a good job, the fact that that you have went way over and beyond and done something that nobody else could do, and someone is trying to deduce it down to absolutely nothing, all because you opened up white male, because you have a salon, because you're trying to use the means in what you have and make them better. But but like Ashley was saying, as Black women, I feel like we've always been able to take something and make it better, take something and work with it and exceed with it. And that's exactly what these women did. And I wasn't mad at her for getting in his butt and saying over my dead body. And I think the women really really, I think that was the moment that if they didn't already respect her, this was the moment that they had even more respect for her.
Mhm.
And I just loved it. I thought that the way that Kerry actually played the part, the way that she did it, because Kerry got that thing where she like she about to cry, but then she don't really cry, but it looked like she about to cry. Like, I don't know what it is, but she does it a lot. But I just love seeing that part. I was like, girl, don't make me cry, because I feel like I'm gonna cry in a minute if you keep doing. If you cry, I'm gonna cry.
Yeah,
But I
everyone-
loved it. I thought this is one of the absolute best parts of it.
I like this scene as well as old man when he tried to have his little pulpit moment, and she was like, "What the hell? What the hell are you doing? What are you doing?" I thought
That's
all
it.
of those more so impactful moments. But I'm always here for it. I said hell no. I
Hell no.
said hell no over my dead body. I was here for that because somebody need to tell him where to go. Now, as far as the "you will salute me," I'll keep you a little white salute. But he gave it eventually. He gave it to her. He gave it to her. But wrapping these things up here, Ashley, do we not need more movies like this? Like I stated, with this situation, or like with Jonathan Major's character in Devotion, there are so many heroes, our predecessors, that we don't know about. The fact that I knew nothing about these ladies at all, like not a mention, not, it's not a whole lot of information, because when I went to, dig, it's very minor. But I think, if these are the ones that we're just getting now, it's so many. And I think especially when we get into historical dramas, we get a lot of the same stories over and over and over again, especially if we, slave it. But yeah, there are so many other stories between slavery and recent time that we could tell for people who were more so innovators, inventors, the pioneers, that we need to shine a light on, that we haven't yet, and we should definitely do that. Actually, do you think we need more stories like the 6888?
Oh, for sure, for sure. And I think in this era between like World War I and World War II, a lot of the movies and series that we say are glaringly missing people of color, right, on the front lines. And a lot of the stories that we do see that are women centered in that space are like, okay, my husband went to war. Now I have to get into the work field. So I'm going to go work for the factory. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But still very white women centered in those spaces. So for sure, I think we need more indigenous stories. I think we need more Asian stories. I think we definitely need more Black stories. The issue, I think, becomes erasure, right? Things that people didn't want to be known, the contributions of people of color in this country, namely Black Americans in this country, a lot has been destroyed or erased. And so unless we have the oral tradition to keep it going and for people to actually tell their stories, have them documented, it's so hard. But yes, that's why we talk about these things. That's why we talk about these shows, because representation matters at the end of the day. And I would love for more of these stories to be told. Hell, I'd settle for even some fictional stories, but I would love it if we could dig into the archives and just show us in these different spaces, because we existed in this country and we weren't just entertainers and musicians. We weren't just actresses, and that's what we see in this time period, from like the early 1900s to like 1950s. Those are the stories they're telling, right? And a lot of tragic stories at that. So I really hope that we get to shine a light on this more. And I would love to see this story told again. I really would.
Yeah. I want to see Kerry's story. Yeah, I want to see that. EJ, what about you? Do we need more stories like the 6888?
Of course we do. Like Ashley said, representation matters. I mean, and we see this all the time. The fact that people are able to see someone else and see someone else do something and see themselves in that person, that matters. And those stories need to be told. The fact that I went into this rabbit hole listening to all these different stories and learning about these women and what they went through, and learning that a lot of them just didn't even want to tell their story. they didn't think it was that important. You know, you had one lady, Odessa Marshall, I believe, or Odessa Taylor was her name. Her son didn't find out till 50 years later even who she was. Her son was a veteran. You know, he was a Army veteran, and he didn't even know that his own mom was part of 6888. He had no clue, but it was something that she never talked about, and that was the consistent thing that you heard. And by the time that this story actually gets told, guess what? We're to the point where there's only 6 or 7 of these people that were left that are alive out of 855 people to even, you know what I'm saying? So you're only getting a handful of the stories. So I think it very much matters, and that these stories need to be told. People need to hear these things. The fact that the consistent thing that I kept hearing over and over again, like just looking in comments and stuff, was, I never heard this story. I never heard this story. I never knew about this. That is absolutely tragic to me. When we really sit and think about it, the fact that nobody knew about this story, that nobody had ever heard of this, and that nobody, there's a lot of these stories out there. You know, and I'm 100% positive there are tons of these stories out there that we just don't know about. And as more time goes on, we are less likely to ever hear about them and to ever be able to have that light shine on them, to really, really understand and fully, you know, give women of color their just dues, because they deserve it. Because let's just keep it real, you know, women of color are dope, and it is what it is. I mean, so I feel like we need these stories out there. We need to hear them. We deserve it.
EJ said, "Do you not see the material?" Now, closing us out here, because I did want to end off on one more of our stories that we do need to check out if you haven't already. Now, as I said, with Kerry Washington's character in the training and them just waiting to be given an assignment in hopes to be taken seriously as soldiers, it very much so reminded me of a soldier story in that aspect. But if you have seen this, were you on Peterson's side or were you on Waters' side? EJ, whose side were you on if you have seen a soldier story?
I feel like I remember this story a little bit. Is this the one where was it Sarge? Is that his name? Was where he was the bad guy, wasn't he?
Yeah, oh yeah, child, he's terrible, awful.
Oh, okay, because I don't remember their names, but I was on Denzel's side. But I do kind of remember. I just don't remember the whole thing. I don't remember the exact thing that was happening, but I know he did something. I know he was the bad guy.
EJ, you can watch a soldier story because I want you to. This is such a good damn movie. Okay,
it was good. I just can't remember it.
A good movie. Like, the acting in this film from everybody is so freaking top tier. When I think about our movies, like this is the first one. Like Adolph Caesar, Rollins over here, Mr. Washington, Art Evans, like everybody did their big one. Everybody did their big one in this movie. It's just absolutely amazing, and it's aged very, very well. Ashley, you haven't seen this.
You know, I ain't seen it. We talked about it the other night.
It ain't. I'm just making sure. We talk about a lot. We talk about a lot. I am gonna definitely we gonna have to set up a watch party or something where we are definitely checking out a soldier story, or maybe Ashley will make her own little solo watch along and y'all get her first prime reaction to a soldier story, and just how amazing. Because like, this is when Denzel popped out and said, "Get your fucking hands off me!" Like, boy, you boy.
Did he
like,
do that shoulder shake that he do?
Get your fucking hands off me. But no, this is like, it's funny because Denzel was in this one. He was in Glory and Malcolm X. And I think there's like 4 films of Denzel's going, "Get your fucking hands off me." Like, was that written on the paper? Or was Denzel just out here ad-libbing, telling people to get their hands off him? I want to know if it was on the paper in the script, Denzel. But yeah, y'all definitely check this out. Let's see. I see Team Peterson. Yeah, we gonna always be Team Peterson because maybe he needed to go. You know, that yes boss burning waters over there, that corrupt man doing what he needed to do to ruin folks' lives. I ain't gonna ruin it for nobody. But yeah, Peterson did his big one because he needed to go. But we are definitely about to get ready to get up out of here. It is absolutely Saturday, and on Saturdays we do our Saturday blockbuster movie watch along. This Saturday is my day, and this is what we are watching. I will definitely be right back. If you care to join us in watching this, please become a member of the channel.
It's 7 p.m. Friday. It's 95 degrees. I ain't got no and no ain't got me. Let's go. I'm down to show my ass. These love freak. How the is that your man? If he right here with me, turned up with my turned up with my turned up with my shows. Yeah, cause I got that big 60,000 fans can't see me do my dance. Got a million haters, and they y'all can kiss my ass. Turned up with my turned up with my turned up in my shows. Yeah, cause I'm right here with me. I'm a flipper hand, getting with my twin. Got a backwood full of salt and a bankroll full of beans. All that Twitter typing. See me and ain't doing nothing. Pop top with some biker shorts. I'm showing off my moose nut. I'm feeling good today.
Good today. Hey, I'm outside with your bae. Yeah, we are watching Kill. We are watching Kill. It is my favorite movie from this year that I've seen. I love a good one place train action type situation. We love blood, okay? We love some murder, death, kills on the screen. We love to see that. I've seen it. It's my choice, but the ladies here on the panel haven't seen it, so you will be getting their genuine reactions. And mine's for a second time because I've seen it. I only seen it once, but I thought it was absolutely brilliant. And I am partial to a good foreign film. So if you want to join us in the discussion and reaction of Kill tonight, in what we got? A couple minutes? What we got? 20 minutes. Yeah, we got that long. We will have that long. Be sure to become a member of the channel. Anything you ladies want to say before we get ready to get up out of here?
Just thank y'all. Be sure to join us tomorrow. I am so excited to be talking Best Man Holiday, child, and I need to watch it, okay, so that I can be prepared for it. But I think it's going to be messy. I think it's going to be a fun conversation. So make sure you come on.
You just watched The Best Man, so this will be your first time watching The Best Man's Holiday too.
No, I watched The Best Man Holiday, but out of order, and I only saw it one time.
What do you do that at? You know what?
I watched The Best Man last year for the first time, and so this will be like just my second time watching Best Man Holiday. I think
over there died. All mad, and Lance was mad as hell, and you ain't know why these people was mad the whole time.
Exactly.
That's what you actually. But most definitely, getting into the Christmas spirit, be sure to join us tomorrow as we discuss The Best Man's Holiday and break down all the drama that was, amongst other things. We will definitely see you guys tonight for the Blockbuster Watch Along. We will definitely see you guys tomorrow for that. Y'all have a good night. Members, get on over there in the Discord. Y'all know where you're supposed to be. And I'm take y'all out of here with these 6 ladies.
I hear you be the block, but I'm the like to keep the streets on. Know this true, the type that like to keep them on the leash, though. I'm known to walk alone, but I'm alone for a reason. Sending me a drink ain't appeasing. Believe